They're not happy to see us. Why? Because we're saying there's a call to repent across the land. And individuals in the Church of Christ, this is where we started. Seriously? Orpheus, Haywood, Pepperdine? Really? Here is a person, very well-known individual, named Orpheus Hayward. He is in Atlanta, Georgia. He's a doctor. He's the head of Renaissance Church. And where do you see him here? You see him on Pepperdine. And I'm saying, I just don't know what brethren are thinking about when they're satisfied with this kind of behavior. But look at this. He is a keynote speaker on Pepperdine in 2023. And look at this. And I'm talking to people who are members of the Church of Christ now. And so when we're talking to each other, I know I'm going to be using names. I heard we've had people that post on our YouTube and they say, this is Church of Christ stuff. And we don't know who you're talking about. Well, I don't really know. It's kind of like people around here saying, well, I don't know anything about Redding, California. Well, when you're talking to people in the Church of Christ and you say you don't know anything about this, listen, do you know where Malibu, California is? Oh yeah, I've heard of Malibu. Well, Pepperdine is a university in Malibu. You can basically enlighten yourself, type it in. You're going to find out that it's a very, very prestigious place, not just with the member of the Churches of Christ. It is a prestigious place with persons who are in the academic world. But notice who's on their lectureship with Orpheus Haywood. Look at this. Now, I hope this resonates with you tonight. You see that name right there? That is a name that is known all over the brotherhood. Rubel Shelley. Rubel Shelley was on 2023 Pepperdine lectureship with Orpheus Haywood. Can I ask you this? If you can invite Orpheus Haywood to your event, you can invite Rubel Shelley to your event. And if you say, no, I can't, I'm asking you, why can you not? And let's just say this. If you invited Orpheus Hayward to your event, the people on your event should be fine with Rubel Shelley because he is an associate of Orpheus Haywood. Now, someone said, well, I don't think Orpheus knows Rubel. Well, if you continue in this company, you're certainly going to get to know him because he is a keynote speaker. And I doubt very seriously that Orpheus Hayward would tell you that he doesn't know Rubel Shelley. Notice this as we go down. Chris Sedman. Who is Chris Sedman? Well, he's right in the lineup, right under Rubel Shelley, and he's on the same lineup with Orpheus Hayward. Well, who is this individual that we're being talked to about tonight? Listen. When you start talking about getting to know certain people, it's really not that difficult. You just simply type in Chris Sedman, S-E-D-I, spell his name right, E before I, S-E-D-S-E-I-D-M-A-N, Chris Sedman. What will you find? You're going to come with a USA Today article. USA Today? It's that simple to know about this guy? Yes. Even 13 years after the Branch Multi-Campus Church of Christ congregation in Dallas introduced instrumental music, Google searches on it and senior minister Chris Sedman yields scathing denunciations. Well, 13 years ago, you might get a scathing denunciation for bringing in instrumental music. But guess what? Orpheus Hayward is not getting scathing, scathing denunciations. Orpheus is all up in Atlanta with people that use instrumental music, and he's loving it. He's loving himself. Down here in the headline, a lot of churches from our heritage cut us off. Chris Sedman, The Branch, Dallas, Texas. So, Chris Sedman, Orpheus Hayward. Orpheus is basically running around with people in Atlanta that have mechanical instrumental music. And Chris Sedman is a person who has introduced instrumental music into the church in Dallas. Max Lucado is up here at the top. Max Lucado, Oak Hills Church in San Antonio. Some face backlash from other congregations as a result of introducing mechanical or instrumental music. Look here. When I said a moment ago, and you might have just kind of scoffed and said, well, what's this idea about if you invite Orpheus, you're going to, then you might as well invite Rubel. And, a lot of these people say, well, that's not going to happen at Red River Encampment. But look at this. Here's a guy named Keith Lancaster, Keith Lancaster is, anytime you get on Pepperdine, it's likely that you're going to see Keith Lancaster, a cappella company. But look at these guys here. Actually, you can't see Ralph Gilmore, and there's not a lot I can do. There he is, Ralph Gilmore. So you mean to tell me that people that run the Red River Encampment in Amarillo, Texas, they invite Orpheus Haywood, and they also invite Ralph Gilmore and Jeff Jenkins. That's exactly what I'm telling you. Now, I'm really not going to have time tonight to deal with polishing the pulpit over here, but Doug Burleson at Freed-Hardeman University and Polishing the Pulpit are actually inviting people that are bosom buddies with these people right here, with the exception of Orpheus Haywood. And they would say, with the exception of Keith Lancaster. Listen, you cannot say that you're not cozy with Keith Lancaster anymore in our regular world. So here's another picture. This is Ralph Gilmore. This is Jeff Jenkins. And as I said a moment ago, there's going to be people say, I don't like it when y'all get into these segments where y'all talk about Church of Christ stuff. This is Orpheus Haywood.